So let me give you a loose definition of Enterprise 2.0 and then a tighter definition. The loose definition is Enterprise 2.0 is about taking the same kinds of technologies and philosophies and approaches that we see on the web with Web 2.0 and resources like Wikipedia and Facebook and Flickr and Twitter and Delicious and all these extraordinarily popular communities on the web, taking those same technologies and approaches and bringing them inside the organization and using them for our organizational purposes. Now, let me give you a tighter definition of what that means. Enterprise 2.0 is the use of emergent social software platforms in pursuit of an organization's goals. Now, platform in this context just means that all the digital content sticks around and is visible to everybody. So it's kind of not the same as email, where everyone's email is fragmented and I don't have access to your email inbox. So on a digital platform, everyone's got access to all the content. Social software in this case is exactly what it sounds like. It just means that instead of using technology to automate people out of existence or make them cogs in some business process machine, we're putting people front and center and making the technology facilitate people's interactions with each other. And for me, the real key word in the definition is emergent, which means that instead of using technology to specify in advance how things are going to happen and what the workflow is going to be. And we're very good at using technology to do exactly that right now. We've had big enterprise systems around since about the mid-90s, and what these things let you do is specify with great detail exactly who's going to do what during this business process and make sure that that happens the same way with great regularity over and over again. Enterprise 2.0 is about using technology to do just about exactly the opposite of that, which is to let people come together, do essentially whatever they want to do, and take the good stuff that emerges. Now, we used to think that was a recipe for chaos. In other words, if you throw away all the rules up front about what people can do and how they should be using the technology, and invite a lot more people to participate and contribute, you might wind up with a lot of content, the old thinking went, but you're going to wind up with a mass of kind of undifferentiated and undifferentiatable junk. There's a great quote in the early years of the internet. Someone said, the internet is the world's largest library. The problem is all the books are on the floor. In other words, there's great content out there, but you really got to get lucky to find it. Now, most of us don't feel that way about the net anymore because some very smart people, including the founders of Google, realize that that quote is really vivid and is actually dead flat wrong. There's a huge amount of structure. There's a great card catalog on the web. It's not one that's defined in advance by any central librarian and where everybody else has to go register their site in part of some Dewey Decimal System. Instead, it is a structure that appears over time based on what people are doing on the web. In this case, in Google's case, based on the links they're making to other pages. Now, in the years since we had that insight, we found a bunch of other ways to basically let the community, let the digital community tell each other where the good stuff is, where the relevant content is, which of that content is best, and to let the cream rise to the top, no matter how we define the cream. So instead of a mass of undifferentiated junk, we've got this constantly self-organizing community that's got this fantastic property, like a geodesic dome, that it gets stronger the bigger it gets. The structure gets better the bigger it gets. So for me, Enterprise 2.0 is about deploying these same kinds of technologies and the same philosophies on top of them, which is, again, for the manager, get out of the way, let people come together, interact, generate, contribute content, author, do whatever they want, have some faith that good stuff will emerge, and find ways to harvest that good stuff.